It was a nightmare in Moncton last night, and it appears it's not over.
RCMP are searching for a lone gunman this morning who is believed to be responsible for killing 3 RCMP officers and injuring 2 others last night. It all happened in the Pinehurst area of Moncton. Police are still searching that area. They are urging people this morning to stay inside, lock their doors, and cautioning the rest of Moncton to stay safe. And in light of that, the Francophone and Anglophone school districts have closed all schools in Moncton for the day and are telling custodial staff to stay home as well.
We have Shelley Steeves, who is on the ground in Moncton, who has been there, in fact, all night with the very latest. So, Shelley, take us back. Break down what happened over the night for those who may just be waking up to this terrifying news.
Yes, people are waking up this morning. It's likely still in a state of shock, especially in the north end of Moncton, where RCMP officers continue to focus their efforts in the search overnight. Last night, well over 100 officers on the ground, some equipped with armored vehicles and riot gear, looking for this, they believe, lone gunman, 24-year-old Justin Burke of Moncton. Of course, he's considered heavily armed and dangerous. Last night, dressed in army fatigues with 2 assault vehicles, a knife by his side, and bullets around his neck. The search is continuing. Those neighborhoods this morning, they continue to be on lockdown. We're outside the city hospital right now, where we believe 2 of the officers involved in last night's shooting are still being treated for non-life-threatening injuries. But here today, the entire community is still in a state of shock, even in a state of panic in some areas. This kind of thing just doesn't happen here.
All right, thank you for that update, Shelley. That's Global's Shelley Steeves, who is live in Moncton this morning. We will be speaking with Shelley throughout the program today.
A long night for many living in the Pinehurst neighborhood, and now many just waking up to the news as well. Joining us now on the phone from Moncton, Constable Davian Terro of the Kodiak RCMP with an update on what's happening right now. Good morning, Constable. Obviously a very emotional night and morning for the RCMP. What's the latest?
We are still actively looking for the shooter at this time. And again, we are requesting the public to remain inside in that zone we have indicated on a map that we've just posted. People should stay inside, lock their doors, avoid the area with their vehicles at this time to allow us to do our job, locate this individual as quickly as possible and as safely as possible so that it doesn't make any more victims.
Now, Constable, I know that you can't give us any specifics right now for safety's sake, but how much longer do you think that this hunt can continue, given that the sun is now rising at daybreak? How much longer can this shooter evade police?
I can't answer that. We are actively working at locating him, and it will take the time it takes. So we are doing our best, and as soon as we can, we will. And we will advise the population accordingly.
As mentioned, it's been a very long night for you guys, and it continues into the morning. Is there any help coming in to help with the RCMP in Moncton, Constable?
We've had members coming in all night long from various areas around us, from close and far away, and it's very appreciated.
All right, Constable Terro, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We do appreciate your efforts, and of course condolences on behalf of everyone here at Global News. The entire city is with you in support.
And staying with the story, of course, the whole city was in shock after the shooting. Now, we were able to get a hold of some people yesterday. Check it.
We just live over in Whisperwood Drive, and we took off when we heard gunshots.
So you heard the gunshots?
We heard the gunshots from in our house.
And how are you feeling now, knowing what's going on?
I just want it over.
I think it's pretty crazy. I mean, you don't really hear stuff like this happening around here.
Well, eyewitnesses certainly have been active on social media. People have even been posting videos of what they have been seeing outside of their doors, what they have been seeing happening on their streets in their neighborhoods. This was taken last night during the shooting. And of course, we need to warn you this morning that this is explicit and it is graphic.
Did you see him? Oh my god, I didn't know it. Was I that? Go down!
He shot him.
Oh my god!
He caught.
He shot him!
911.
Oh my god, call 911!
To other news now, the Harper government has unveiled new prostitution laws yesterday, replacing the old laws struck down by the Supreme Court. Justice Minister Peter MacKay says the Made in Canada laws are aimed at targeting Johns and pimps while protecting the vulnerable. The bill would create new offenses for the purchase of sexual services and communicating in any place for that purpose, receiving a financial or material benefit from the prostitution of others, including through business that sells sexual services of others online or out of venues such as escort agencies, massage parlors, or strip clubs that also provide sexual services. Advertising the sale of sexual services in print media or on the internet, as well as communicating for the purpose of selling sexual services in public places where a child could reasonably be expected to be present.
There are models out there that work. There are models out there for countries who have taken a really progressive and brave steps to recognize sex work as work. And this country is in the dark ages once again.
Fiona Traynor is the chair of the board with Stepping Stone, an organization dealing specifically with street life and sex work. Traynor says while the federal government had involved the public in consultations, they have failed to recognize the voice of sex workers themselves. The ambiguity of the offenses listed is a concern for the organization. While the laws are targeted at pimps and johns, they say it has the ability to incriminate sex workers as well.
Meanwhile, the unsuccessful search for a missing mountain biker in rugged terrain near Waverley has left residents of the Spider Lake area disappointed. 30-year-old Marty Legier was reported missing last week. For 5 days, searchers combed more than 60 square kilometers looking for Legier to no avail. At its height, approximately 200 ground search and rescue volunteers, 250 military personnel, and 3 helicopters were involved in that search. But there were also community volunteers who opened up their homes to searchers and Legier's family as well. Residents say they are saddened the search ended without finding the mountain biker.
I mean, they were doing what they could do, and I still think it's really sad that because he's still up there, and they did everything that they could, even bring in like the military and stuff like that.
RCMP would like to thank all those who helped in any capacity during the search. They say they will be returning to the neighborhood to personally thank residents.
This is very deceptive.
A new report released this morning by the Heart and Stroke Foundation shows some concerning statistics. Stroke is most common in those over the age of 70, but the report shows that in the past decade, strokes in people in their 50s increased close to 25%, and for those in their 60s, close to 15%. One stroke neurologist says it could be due to several things.
One would be that there are some unhealthy lifestyles that have become more prevalent in younger people. So the computer age has made people more sedentary. There are more people who are overweight. There are more people who've got type 2 diabetes at a younger age. There's also issues of substance abuse in the younger population as well.
The report also puts Nova Scotia and New Brunswick among the top 3 in the country for having the highest stroke in hospital mortality rates. On the evening news at 6.